I'll say 50-50.
50-50?
Looks even to me.
For VICI, it'll be easier to farm out their cores. In the team fights, they might look a little bit shaky, but I think farm will overwhelm them in this game, so I think VICI take this.
Sounds great. With that said, we're going to go ahead and send things over to the stage now where we have our two hype casters. It's going to be Draskell and Owen. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you very much, Call Guy. Indeed, I'm Odie Pixel. I'm joined by Draskell for this one. VICI Gaming Reborn going up against TNC in a best of one where they are playing for a difference of $200,000, Andy. That is crazy money. We're only giving the loser of this 100K because we're feeling nice today.
Well, I mean, I got to side with the fan a little bit here. I think that TNC straps that can survive the early game will be a little bit better, but VGR, of course, being a squad of very, very experienced players, we'll have to see how much they can pressure the lanes and try to put TNC under the gun here.
So, in terms of drafts overall, do you feel that there's one that's necessarily a bit easier to execute?
I mean, I guess you could say that having Tinker and Elder Titan for high ground defense and then Bat Rider and such, you can hold your 2-3s for a very, very long time, but I think VGR just want to play non-stop aggression, and it's also, I think, a little bit harder for TNC to actually pressure the individual lanes. So if the Axe can snowball out of control, which we've seen before in the MVP series, you get ahead, you just start crushing. If that happens, I think TNC could be in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely, and in terms of crushing lanes, do you feel that there's definitely a side that's got more pressure to perform at the earlier stages of the game? If this game does go on late, is there someone with a clear advantage?
I think VGR are definitely the ones who want to perform better during the early game. Because you get the Axe of Blink Dagger, you want to start making moves with the Blinks and getting initiations, getting kills, snowballing. Letting a Tinker go to late game, letting Terrorblade go to late game, especially with an Elder Titan and such, it's going to make it very, very difficult, I think, for VGR to actually end it if they don't do well in the laning phase.
We can see the moment to start off with either team. We're going to be bumping heads around the rune spots. As Bottom Storm grabs his and grabs theirs. Lane-wise, do you expect any kind of aggression coming out from either side? Are we going to see any help for the Bat Rider at the top? Will Sam H back up into the jungle early on, or is he going to be fine on the off lane?
I think for the time being, it's just going to be, what, Avenge and a Weaver. He might get harassed a bit, but I don't necessarily think he'll die unless he gets over-aggressive. Looks like for the time being, they're going to have FYF here as well. So yeah, this is actually, with the Mirana, this is a super scary lane. Kill him with just 2 stuns. The Weaver can chase into the tower as well, so he has to be very careful.
Especially with this lane ward already down by VGR. They'll set up Magic Missile into the arrow. END coming in nice and close, getting the punches in, and Sam H. There's going to be no escape for this boy. He's got one Fairy Fire. He's going to try and make them take as long as possible for this one as he jukes out in the sideline, but they'll chase him down and get the first blood for End on the Weaver. VGR with the start that they wanted, and indeed that top tri-lane a little bit too potent for a bat to live with.
A little bit strange that he decided to show himself so early, and he's skilled Sticky instead of Firefly. I mean, I get that, you want to be able to have some kind of ability to trade in lane, but maybe he feels like staying up here is the choice to make sure that he gets a 1v1 matchup in mid, so his Tinker's not under pressure to the Avenge arrow, but he's going to get hit again.
Sam H in a lot of trouble indeed. VGR, they'll say they'll take a second. I feel like we've only just seen this. 1 minute and 20 seconds in. 2 deaths on the off lane, and this is painful for TNC because you look back at some of their performances and they rely on Sam H to get to a point where he's going to be able to make the plays in the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, the sacrifice that you're making for ganking the Bat Rider is the fact that Mikasa is not necessarily having the greatest time in middle lane. He's getting harassed by EU here pretty heavily, and they're just trying to make sure the Tinker gets even further ahead. Normally, in the lane, Tinker wins this matchup, but with a hero that's just sitting there constantly harassing you, it's going to be 10 times worse. So now VGR need to decide whether they want to try to help out Mikasa or okay, we're just going.
Easy AU came round for a bit of a warning, but FY's found him out. He's going to chase him down. Force him back over to his side of the map. Looks like Mikasa won't come across the arrow. Ooh, F1. Nearly connecting there, but AU's going to get lucky as well, finding himself a haste rune down bottom, so no more chase down.
Lane again.
Oh,
gonna lose Sam H.
Sam H!
Actually dying to just the 2 heroes that time.
I mean, is this main stage kind of nerves? Do you think
he's level 1? He's trying to get level 2, so he goes really far up in the lane to try to get experience from the range creep. He still doesn't have Firefly skilled. So if he doesn't have Firefly, he just can't jungle. He needs to hit level 2 somehow. I mean, at this point, probably go up and get, what, 1 creep, and then just go try to jungle instead, because what he's doing is not working at all.
Right, again. Oh, off you go. Where's the Elder Titan as he comes back? You can see. Jungle, no, finding a good amount of levels understandably. No one from TNC has really come over to try and slow down the progression of this Axe for the 3-minute mark. But of course, as this all goes down, this does mean that the TB, bottom lane, Raven, going to get absolutely uninterrupted farm on the Terrorblade. And what is the plan for VGR in terms of dealing with a TB that's going to have a good start?
I think their answer is just No having the Blink Dagger and obviously Spin dealing pure damage. You have a fairly decent way to kill the Terrorblade. Like you have Storm Initiation with the Axe together on having Blink, and that should be more than enough, honestly, to get the kill without a natural save. Like sure, Global Silence is going to be something you need to worry about a little bit later, but you don't have an Oracle, a Shadow Demon, a Venge, or anything like that to save him. So once he gets jumped, if you don't have Global, most of the time, if you don't have a Stomp, he's dead.
Jimmy, going to come towards the mid, harass FY back a little bit. And this is one thing as well with Demon Silencer. We saw obviously the start and almost down bottom for the Silencer to work his magic against. I mean, where are we going to start to see this Silencer pick really come into play for TNC?
There's a couple of ways that you can use it. It's nice to be able to counter-initiate. So once the Storm rolls in, for example, you can global on him, force him to itemize in a way that's not optimal. So instead of being able to go like a greedy Bloodstone Orchid, you might have to buy an early Yules, or you might even have to buy an early BKB. And the other method is you can lasso somebody, pull them out, and global on top of it to ensure that the bench can't swap the lasso. That's one of the ways that he was originally used Silencer when you saw like Batrider, Centaur, and Silencer combinations. But a little bit of change.
This is kind of his favourite spot. We found him there earlier. He's going to come back again. No, heading across, trying to help out. But Cuckoo, he's got an Arcane Rune, and he's going to land to get a second bit of burst down. TNC's first kill on the board. No. Continues to chase AU down. He's got backup in the form of En's Weaver coming in close as well. Cuckoo just trying to buy some space for the escape of AU, and it's going to be enough. VGR unable to punish anyone on the side of TNC after they come nice and deep into their jungle.
It's surprising we actually saw the Weaver rotate for that. I mean, they didn't have a reliable disable outside of No maybe running in and getting a call, so it seems like a little bit of a waste of time there for them.
Oh, down on the bottom lane, as the FY's come in for a little bit of farm and experience, but Raven 43 for 3 still at the top, and we can absolutely see the difference between his farm and En's Weaver. 27 CS, so massive differences in the moment between the safe laners. Mid lane, TNC trying to make a move in onto Mikasa. Can't quite get the laser cast off as Mikasa gets himself back into the shadows. Bottom lane, VGR actually smoked up. So they were looking for Raven. We've got both No and DDC working here, but Raven, see if he senses something's up. Himself in the lane. They also have FY around on the Mirana, so 3 heroes down here. They want to make a
He
play.
just pulled. This is really bad. He has no creeps.
Absolutely. No. Gets the perfect wraparound. DDC to set up Raven in a whole world of pain as VGR get that kill on the Terrorblade, which was absolutely the highest of priorities at this point with him having free farm for the first 6 minutes.
That was just unfortunate circumstances. I mean, I guess you could argue that having creeps against Axe isn't even really helping you, but that just made it incredibly easy for VGR to go for the dive. Very nice smoke timing there. A little bit for Terrorblade, but yeah, I mean, VGR are doing what they need to do. They realize, ganking the Terrorblade, keeping it down, trying to get No Blink as fast as humanly possible, because he's still the second highest in the game.
Top lane as well as we saw. Sam H, he's managed to not die again after the first 3 deaths. He's through level 4, so getting a bit more of the experience. Mid lane Mikasa. Let's see in terms of farm, still struggling against the Tinker. Obviously TNC have been putting a lot of pressure on the Storm mid. He certainly fell at the moment. DDC coming with a very interesting wraparound. Walks into Demon, AU as well. The Storm actually going to be totally off point. DDC just playing games with TNC at the moment, but they'll continue to chase him down. It looks like he's going to make them spend a lot of the time going for this Venge kill. Oh, can he deny himself? No, the burst from Demon is too much, and Silencer will be able to punish the Venge, picking up the second kill for TNC.
That's a bit of space created. Having that Venge walking around the woods, having 3 heroes chasing him for that long. It's probably more than okay for VGR given their current state. The Axe and the Weaver are still farming extremely well. The one person who's suffering the most though is Mikasa. Like, this guy is just having a heck of a time in the mid lane. He's only got 18 CS. Gonna see a little bit of bottle abuse here from the side of VGR, but yeah, I think they need to rely on the Blink Dagger timing more than anything now, because since the Storm is so far behind, it's really hard, I think, to recover just from straight up farming in this game. I think going for ganks with the Axe is going to be the best avenue to take TNC off guard, so hopefully, No-No's Blink timing is still going to be on point here.
Well, FY still clearing out the illusion, but we're going to see TNC pull the Demon down here as well to make sure that Raven is not left alone. Fine, playing it safe. Top lane. DDC is going to head with this movement. Gets a ward down. Eyes towards the top. He's on his own at the moment. Looks like he's going to play it safe and moving forward aggressively, and the Elder Titan backs away.
Coin for me.
This point of the game, 4 for 2, VGR. Certainly managed to find the initial kind of kicker to the game. It certainly felt they had the flow, but TNC have been able to slow it down a bit. As we can see in respect to some of the cores, it's still an even game in this laning stage.
Yeah, they definitely would prefer a slower pace game as well, the side of TNC. They want to make sure their Tinker gets the core items up and can deep push all the waves. I mean, sure, Storm is always going to be a bit of an issue, but if the Tinker is really far ahead of the Storm, then the Tinker can probably still live through most of the game unless they're committing multiple heroes, so it's not really as big of a concern until Mikasa starts to make his recovery. But VGR, they get a tower at the very least.
Dire's middle tower is under
Mikasa
attack.
moving around, not necessarily to gank this time, but to help pressure some lanes. And again, it's all about that blink timing here.
I'm back over on the side of TNC looking at Cuckoo. He's nearly closed his first hurdle, 1800.
Radiant's top tower
Boots
is
of
under
travel
attack.
completed. VGR able to make a play before that's done. Top lane, Mikasa moving in very aggressively. A TP reaction coming out immediately from Demon. Mikasa, he's got to get himself out, goes straight for the TP out. They're not going to have a cancel. So Mikasa able to pull a TP out of TNC at least and get himself back to safety.
Yeah, it was a very nice read of the situation. He knew since the Spirit was down, he would very easily be able to TP because he can't get a ranged echo sometimes. So, smoke up here from the side of VGR. They're looking for a kill. Only about 700 gold away from the blink there on Nono.
I mean, at this point, if they can get either Sam H, Cuckoo, both players that are looking for those big items, they'll see them front forward as VGR trying to close the gap onto Sam H. He'll turn around, plant down. Raven's also turned up to help out. With the Moonlight Shadow, VGR disengage, and TNC no interest in chasing down for more. No.
Radiant's bottom
Put his
tower
eyes
is
towards
under
the mid
attack.
lane. TNC all fairly close to the situation. We'll be able to hit back hard if VGR find a jump in, but it looks like TNC are nicely averting the aggression that VGR
Radiant's
to pull
bottom
onto.
tower is under
Great
attack.
move. I mean, at the very least, you want Demon to have global. He is so close to level 6, there's no reason to take an engagement when your silencer is pretty much one creep
Radiant's
away
middle
from being
tower
a
is
much
under
more
attack.
impact inside of the game.
Something across, he's going to look to try and steal some of these creeps from Sam H. Just have to be careful himself, as they do have the global available. Demon is going to look to set it up into the Echo Stomp. Mikasa, can he get himself out of here? Zips away, the rockets are going to fly through, but of
Radiant's
course,
bottom
the
tower
Arcane
is
Curse
under
still on
attack.
him, because he keeps casting the ball lightning. Is it going to be enough damage? It's going to be
Oh, he
close.
needs to deny
That's what he
Dire's
said.
top tower is under
Mikasa,
attack.
oh no, he can't live through that one. Jimmy Ho does it with the Arcane Curse. Too much for the Storm to deal with.
Looks like he underestimated the damage because there was a troll camp right there. He could very
Radiant's
easily just hit it
bottom
and got
tower
himself
is
killed
under
in neutrals
attack.
instead. It's a bit of a misplay there. Maybe he,
Radiant's
I mean,
bottom
not many
tower
silencer
has
picks,
fallen.
so again, maybe he just wasn't expecting the amount of damage output.
I mean, that's something that we really didn't talk about, but it absolutely destroys the Storm Spirit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, all of his
Dire's
Remnant's
middle
very
tower is under attack.
very small cooldown. You want to be using Zip a lot in fights to maximize your overload. So, it's not a fun hero to play against the Storm.
As we can see as well at the top, Terrorblade, Raven, top of the board in net worth. Dragonlance, 1,300 gold on top as well, so still very good progression for him. The same can be said, of course, for End. It's pretty much sitting on par, and of course with a very similar build as well at this point of game as the Terrorblade. So both safe laners in similar
Radiant's
positions.
middle tower is under attack.
Now that's the Blink Dagger picked up for Axe. We'll see what kind of plays VGR can pull out with this one. They've got 3 towards the bottom at the moment. They want to move in and try and make a play. Already TPs from TNC coming towards the mid laners. It looks like they themselves might want to see if they can catch out Mikasa.
I think it's going to be a little bit harder without global to really be able to get a kill like that. Plus the fact that VTR's warding sees a lot of what's going on TNC's side of the map, so they know the ancient attack is
Radiant's
going on. They
bottom
know
tower
that
is under
Raven's
attack.
sitting over here farming away the large camp.
Dire's
Nothing's
middle
really going to catch him
tower
off
is
guard.
under attack.
I like what they're doing though. They're protecting FY, pushing in bottom. They haven't shown the blink yet, and I don't believe that no one will walk by any wards, so this will be the reveal of the dagger. It's a kill that would be very, very good for them.
Got to be very, very careful. But at the same time, as you said, with the ultimate from Jimmy coming back off cooldown, which should be fairly short, TNC will have a chance to fight back. Bruno jumps in, falls to the burst is there.
Radiant's
The
middle
global
tower
comes
is
out, but
under
it
attack.
doesn't do anything off the back of this. He managed to get the save off, but Nono still goes down. TDC trying to get himself away. Sam H tries to chase, but they don't have detection. So it'll be the straight 1-for-1. Nono throws his life in and is able to take Cuckoo down with
I think it's probably worth it trading the Tinker for the Axe. Like, not by a huge margin, but you know that TNC's game plan is to try to play slower pace, get March, push out the waves, delay until the Terrorblade becomes a real big issue. Trading your life in that scenario is fine. Plus, they also commit a global. Grand scheme of things, VICI are probably feeling okay with the current situation.
Right? Looking for end, but it's a hard catch. Sentry's going to be dropped down. And already getting himself out. Silence though, AD's going to connect the stop. That's a DDC swap, not quite enough. DDC made himself be in trouble. They close in, flame break to cancel the TP. And TNC, they'll take both of them down.
Important to remember that last word also is very good against Weaver. Because once you catch Ikuchi, you can't time-lapse. So if you're taking a huge amount of damage in that, because obviously they drop the sentry, but you have a really hard time recovering from it. He was just, again, not used to playing against Silencer. It's a hero we just don't really see that often.
The pick so far certainly working out for TNC. Casa, certainly been able to get himself a bit more space, but again, Silencer coming into play. Some issues from Mikasa. Point boost tonight, a little bit tanky. There's Rune as well, and still the DD active. True would love to try and make a play back on TNC, but they already back up. And TNC working together as a three-man, AU, Demon, and Raven. Raven's farm continues to skyrocket. And I mean, you remember back, what, a few minutes ago, we saw him on the same as the Weaver, but that last bit of play, he's now really starting to create the difference between the two of them.
And you can tell that VICI are feeling the pressure from this. They don't want that TV to get out of control. This is the second smoke they're going to be using in just a couple of minutes. They really, really want to try to get something done here. They have the mech finished up on FY, they have the Blink Dagger on No-No, and we'll see if they can make something happen.
Moment, just AU towards the mid lane. And a wrap around towards bottom, but TNC see themselves playing very, very safely at the moment. No one really out on the map, all behind tier 2s. As TNC just reading the situation very, very well, and it looks like VGR are just going to be unable to catch anyone off guard with this movement.
They understand that VGR are the ones who, if they get the jump on you and you don't have all of your abilities available, it's going to be very difficult because the axe initiation, even with the global, still ends up killing the Tinker. You just really want to make sure that you're in a good position. You don't really have much of a reason to force engagement until at least the Batrider has blink. Because keep in mind, Sam-H, he went for the drum scope. He did not go straight blink. So until you get that item, you can't really utilize the global in an offensive fashion unless VGR are committing to a fight on you. That being said, TNC just have a very good understanding of the way their lineup is meant to play the game.
Down here as well from TNC, spotting out VGR. They actually want to smoke on top of this. TNC spotting the whereabouts of VGR, seeing if they can find a way to close the gap. You said without
Shadows take us.
that blink is a little bit hard for them, especially with FY, Moonlight Shadow, VGR themselves, they can come back in. TNC, and they're going to reveal themselves. Kishu comes out, just caught eyes on him, No, pings him out, but looks like they're going to back away, VGR. Wait in the sidelines, but TNC again playing very, very safely at this point. And as you said, this is exactly what TNC needs to do. They've got a Tinker, they've got a TB, they've just got to make sure that they don't lose bad fights at the early stage of the game.
Is under attack.
Even if they do take a fight,
Dyer's
all your
structures
cooldowns are up, I
fortified.
think it's still manageable. As long as your global results in at least one of the heroes dying on VGR, like preferably a 4, either End or Mikasa would probably be fine. You can also take fights that way, but, you know, Raven more or less has just been doing his farm thing. He doesn't really want to come to fights until he has everything that he needs.
Radiant's
In that
bottom
sense,
tower
TNC
is
are doing a
under
very good
attack.
job at slowing the phase. Like, they still have a tier 1 standing right now. That tier 1 is super important for their lineup to maintain control of the jungle. So as long as they have that, VGR are going to struggle taking over the game the way they want to.
And VGR, as we've seen, they've spent a lot of time down in that jungle around that tier 2 spot, looking to see if they can get a catch. That's not working out. What else can VGR look to achieve around the map?
I think they're actually focusing too heavily on sitting in this part of the map. Like, it makes sense because you want to restrict the Tinker. You don't want him to be able to just farm like jungle camps at the same time, teleport to another lane, farm that as well. But they're not really getting anything by just standing here, and they weren't really contesting the Ancients either, so Raven just gets the full stack, has Manta finish now on top of the Dragonlance. They're still out farming a little bit, but the Terrorblade's getting further and further ahead, and that's the primary issue, because your Storm doesn't really have an item yet, and it's 17 minutes in. Like, this is one of the more under-farmed Storms we've seen so far here at TI.
Batrider now with the blink complete as well, so TNC themselves, yeah, you can see them look for active fights. all the ultimates back and available. Then indeed we will. TNC smoking up. Leading the way. They know that VICI have been spending a lot of time down around this bottom lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Should they're able to kick something off. But Blink Dagger's also done now for Cuckoo on his team.
Dire's top tower
They can
is under
certainly
attack.
fight TNC. They find some kind of catch, but already VGR looks like they're done and dusted with this bottom lane presence. They will get themselves out of
top
there.
tower has
The only one
fallen.
hanging around at the moment is FY.
Radiant's bottom tower
He's deep
is
inside
under
the tree line.
attack.
Unable to find anything. So TNC can't quite find VGR and vice versa at the moment. Neither team really being caught out of position, understandably so. When you're in these best of one situations with such high stakes, you're going to see a lot of reserve play.
Yeah, absolutely. This game is just massive for both these teams. And I think it's even showcased by some of the itemization that VTR's made. You know, I didn't really talk about it much, but FY, the fact that he decided to go for the mech build, we haven't really seen a whole lot of that here at TI6. It's mainly just been people going for the Aghanims build straight up. They just give the Mirana more farm priority as the game goes on. He becomes more of a split push hero, and then you just get out of control the later the game goes. In a way, because he has a mech and they're not utilizing it by team fighting, the item isn't really doing anything for him. You really want to be able to force engagements when you have that kind of advantage, and knowing that TNC wouldn't really buy a mech. It's like, speaking of TNC, they're going to be going for another smoke here.
Absolutely, bringing everyone this time. Raven's going to be joining the cause as well with the Terror Blade. As you said, Man's style done, and Raven's already a comfortable amount ahead of Ends Weaver at this stage. 2.5k difference between them. They're going to look to try and find a pick at least. FY reveals himself for them. Damage, just immediately. Mirana, no escape whatsoever, and TNC find themselves a pickoff. Albeit not really the biggest of pickoffs they could have hoped for with a 5-man movement. Or 4-man.
It's still fine because it gives them space. It takes VTR off their side of the map. They know that for the most part, if the Mirana's dead, there's no Moonlight Shadow. Makes it a little bit less stressful for Cuckoo to push out other lanes, which he's kind of doing right now. Does also allow them to get up a little bit more vision. So they just know, like, the mech carrier's dead. The mech carrier's dead. The likelihood of VTR taking anything other than a quick pick is very, very low.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And
Radiant's middle tower is
they've heard the
fallen.
push at the town, Mikasa. Still playing around this area. We're going to see TP's in. Jimmy does have a global. That's already
Dire's
backed up. Bottom
bottom
lane
tower
Raven.
has fallen.
Finding space to get more money for the Terrorblade. 11,500 net worth, 20 minutes in. He is certainly starting to get out of control, and just begs the question, Andy, do you feel VGR are wishing that they were just able to get more done in the early stage of the start?
I feel like the axe just hasn't necessarily had the impact that they wanted it to. He does have a blade mail now, so that might help the situation a little bit. But no, I mean, he's been involved in 2 kills. You really want to have a lot more than that if you're VGR by this point. Like, you have Mirana, Storm Spirit, and an axe. These heroes are by nature very aggressive. They want to try to fight, and TNC have been playing very well around them, just slowing down the game. Don't want to take any needless fights, and if they are going to fight, they're just making sure all of their cooldowns are available. It's a very simple concept. They can delay the game and sit on their high ground if they want to. They can rely on the Terrorblade to carry them during the later game stages, and since they know that VTR are controlling the map enough, feel pretty safe.
This is essentially a smart move for VGR. They realize at this stage, both teams are kind of be going around each other. They'll look to rotate. With the Desolator event, they're going to do it fairly quickly. TNC will start to make a move over, and it looks like they will get there in time to contest. Available, but no, jumps in, finish out. FI just forward with a global from Jimmy. It's going to slow down VGR's start. Here comes the ult from the other time. Going to catch. No, they've lost AD on the other time. But Cancer as well, able to finish off Cuckoo. With VGR, despite the global from Jimmy, they fight through it, find themselves 2 kills and head immediately back into the pit. TNC just left with 3 standing and unable to contest this play from VGR.
The Tinker was so far out of position during that fight.
Roshan
That was
has
actually kind of
fallen
crazy
to
by
die.
Cuckoo. I'm not sure how he even got over there in the first place, because there wasn't even a swap used. He was just in the middle of a freaking river without his team. Disjointed fight there from TNC, and VTR will take full advantage of this, getting the use of the Aegis now. Bloodstone charges as well from Mikasa as he finished it just before that fight kicked off. Now Domino with a very large Ancient Stack going his way. This is the kind of kick momentum that VGR really needed.
Oh no.
Ancients are
He's
pretty
gotta be
tough,
careful.
They're strong.
Fenland not get killed by them. Himself back. The lens picked up by Cuckoo. As you said, he's got to be careful in these fights because TNC at this stage of the game, they're relying on to get the burst out with the lasers and the rockets. Without that, they're not going to kill some of the tanky heroes of VGR by putting no on his hands.
Well, the bigger thing about getting Roshan is for a team like VGR who have these multiple ways of initiating, having an Aegis just gives you license to kill. You just go in because you know you have the Aegis advantage. Storm is arguably the best carrier in the game of this item.
Attack.
You just go in with full mana, you use your entire mana bar to kill 1 or 2 heroes, you respawn with full mana again. You can just either keep fighting or by that point TNC have already backed off. And that's exactly what VGR want. Don't want to give TNC any more breathing room than absolutely necessary. And the fact that TNC lose that fight, it means that they pretty much don't want to take an engagement unless they're fighting around a tower.
I guess it has to be said as well. You look at Mikasa at the moment, he's only about 400 behind Tinker. And this was a Storm that was effectively getting crushed in the lane at the beginning of the game.
He had a very, very good recovery, and plus he's only died once. That's the bigger thing. During the laning phase, he was getting zoned out by an Elder Titan pretty hard, but he never let himself get picked off. This is why he was considered one of the more stable mids, obviously, being the team coach. He usually doesn't die that much, which is a really good thing on Storm. More about just consistency.
But the lasso jumps in immediately. They've got to go as well if they need it, but it looks like a challenge from Ravens enough to bring him down once. The question is, can they kill him again? Still holding on to the global silence. Demon gets it off. Mikasa, can he get himself out? Kills himself. Does manage to get the Bloodstone denied. You can see already TNC looking for more. Chasing down Nono, gets the blink off. End on the backlines, trying to pick off AE on the Elder Titan. We're chasing down with the Shikuchi. TNC trying to make their way over to help him. AU look for the Dukes. The Storm, it's there. AU gets himself out, and now Ed in a more worried trouble. They don't have protection. He's going to come out of Shikuchi. The silence is there, but he's already out. Nono and FY, they're tagged in. He gets the call up onto Sam H. Ravens trying to help with the double from Nono. Ravens looking for the cleanup. Will get the kill onto Axe. Can we get themselves anything more TNC? Into chasing now, but VGR back off. Maybe even thinking about coming back in as Mikasa is already respawned. It is straight down to the bottom lane. TNC on the way back, but a bit of a messy fight there between the two teams. They're able to kill Mikasa quick twice, but VGR, they certainly hit back hard.
That was really unfortunate. Like, hitting the Aegis and having it completely wasted. That's not really what VICI were looking for, but they still managed to secure a tier 2. Nice use of global there by Demon as well. The timing was perfect. Making sure that Mikasa can get himself away. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a tower, and they still got a handful of kills, so maybe not perfect, but it might be good enough for VICI.
Yeah, F1 is progression at the moment. One's Aghanims.
Oh my god, this
halfway there.
He's got a Scotty.
Yeah,
Raven is so farmed. Look at his net worth.
Yeah, it's had an absolutely fantastic game so far. I mean, he's been hitting creeps. 25 minutes in, 244 CS. He's only died for once. They're absolutely looking very, very stacked at the moment. And as we saw in that last fight, VGR, they've got a fair few mobile heroes to get away, but the damage once they get close is a lot. Caught out. Cash and DDC, now the Tinker down for 50 seconds. Just throw Sam H up into the air and get themselves out. But again, it's a big kill getting the Tinker, but still can't help but feel that Raven, he's the real target for VGR at this point. You need to kill the Terrorblade.
He's really difficult to kill though. Having the Manta style and a global silence to protect you is no joke. Like global and is so massive.
Sam H setting up onto Mikasa. The swap's there from DDC. The global comes out from Jimmy. They'll look for DDC. They will manage to cancel the TP with the flame break. This is simply Avenge giving his life for the coach. And his coach says, good job, son. Mikasa gets himself back to base. And that was a lot blown for that Avenge kill by TNC.
I mean, it's okay, I think. You're making sure, again, that VGR are just not going to be fighting you and you can get more farm on the TV. Because he still needs, he still has some more inventory slots. And it's not like he's getting out farmed by anyone. He's 50% more net worth than the highest person in VGR right now, which is the Weaver. Don't think he's feeling particularly scared. VGR are really trying to avoid confrontation with him because they realize how farmed he is. And the only way they're killing him is if they just get everything dumped on him at the same time. And there's no global.
Oh, meanwhile, no. He's just found himself a freebie on Jimmy. Looks like he was out alone, and Mikasa, joining forces with the Axe, was able to take down a silencer. Even something back in return for VGR. Top lane, the arrow from FY connects, and there's a fair bit of damage with the Starstorm as well. VGR
has been
found themselves
your
a
mount
quick second, so
all day.
TNC getting a bit lapsed there with the concentration, losing two heroes in positions that they shouldn't have been in.
Well, they're not losing cores at least. One thing you can look to and be happy about for TNC for the time being. There will come a stage when the Storm becomes a lot scarier, and the way that VGR are going to take fights is very scrappy. They want to just catch people out. They don't want to take the full 5-man because of fear of global. And obviously the Terrorblade is a very hard target to bring down to this stage because they just don't have the right item progression for it. But as time goes on, that'll slowly change. You know, Nono's got a BKB now. So he can BKB off the global silence and go in under March, stuff like that. It's going to be very helpful for him to make sure that he can get his target.
And we can see as well ends Weaver just a few hundred away from his BKB as well. So I guess with those 2 BKBs, VGR are just suddenly in much a better position to take these fights.
It's a relatively good power spike against Silencer. And normally, you don't want to have to buy BKB until much later into the game just to maximize your efficiency and item progression, but it's fine in this game because you just need to get rid of global. The biggest problem that these heroes are having.
So DDC was looking to try and find the setup onto Cuckoo. Quite get the vision to do so. TNC still sticking around together as a group. And when do you imagine we're going to see a team look to actively take a fight? I mean, do VGR still feel the pressure? Or after these BKBs, do they step back and look for more? And they've got 3 groups up behind the tier 2 here, so it looks like potentially VGR may be setting up for play at the moment. Yeah, bringing in Nono as well on his axe. DDC? Killing, I mean.
Well, they're all kind of standing around.
It looks like they're scared of maybe TNC coming for something.
Yeah, but they have vision, though.
Yeah.
They had a ward at middle lane and then scouted the TV for a second, so they're going to move out of the map once again. I think they were going to try to smoke, but they actually don't have one.
Is this one coming out in the corner now?
Yeah, okay. I guess
oh no, it's not. No, they're simply terrified by the looks of it of TNC.
Well, this is the best of 1 lower bracket, you know what I mean? Like, you get scared when you don't see the enemy team on the map and you know that they have comparable farm and the ability to take team fights with an ability like Global Silence.
Allies.
And we did of course see them come across with that ward up towards the top lane. The VGR,
They just like snap Mirana ulted when they saw that TD illusion.
they are absolutely terrified. But it looks like they're going to build up the courage to try and take a fight with TNC. Heading
Sentries
towards
everywhere.
the top.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
VGR being incredibly timid. They need someone to make the call, someone to jump in
Structures are
and
fortified.
initiate the fight, but as we can see, pretty much how much the jump first. The ball comes out from Jimmy. Let's see what TNC can finish off, and he gets the time that's up and now. Fighting back Raven. They've already lost the back. They've lost Jimmy as well. 2 down on TNC. And Nono still standing strong. Raven trying to get the damage out. Looks towards TDC. Takes down the bench. And White, he's going to pull the wall. Gets the door up. Nono for Raven. Bridges the side of VGR the strength they need to kill this TB.
No man,
But he's just killing them. Mikasa kills himself. Raven at this point and Cuckoo with the drive-by rocket to the backside. VGR getting team-wiped and Terrorblade absolutely out of control. Raven 6-1-1, nearly hitting 20,000 net worth at 31 minutes in.
he did so much damage during that fight. Mikasa didn't know that he had a diffusal blade, so when he falls in, he was expecting maybe to get 1 or 2 more zips, but he just got mana burned. And he couldn't get away.
Look at the face, the composure of Raven is like, all right, just another day in the pub. He is absolutely chilling. He knows how much this means. Just look at this replay again. I mean, where does it all go wrong for VGR?
Well, Nono had really good BKB timing here. The global comes out super early from Jimmy, but as soon as he gets the call on the Bat Rider, the lasso pretty much
Dire's
accomplished
top
nothing.
tower has
And
fallen.
they're committing very heavily on the Silencer, who had already
Dire's
used his
top
ultimate at
barracks
this
are
point. You can see
under
the Sunder going out through end on the BKB, brings him down to half health already at this point, and he didn't have time lapse anymore. So by the time it's all said and done, they just didn't have any damage left for the hard carry on the team.
Absolutely insane. I mean, look how tanky he is as well at this point. Right, well, 2.4k health, and he had over
Dire's
30
top
armor.
barracks are
That's
under
a hero.
attack.
It certainly is a hero. Favorably, Dota 2.
I mean, if you're VGR, you've just been through that fight. You're going to not want to let that happen again. But there's a smoke up. It looks like it could be the sneaky Roche.
There's no, oh actually it's gonna be up to 10 seconds, so there is global.
And TNC could certainly try and fight this if they're aware that it's going on. VGR, they have to do it a little bit quicker than they were before, but with the
This is kind of all in, right?
yeah, TNC knows what up, and VGR, they're not going to have the chance to finish this one without a fight. It's TNC. Listening around, Sam Mikasa, that's available, jumps in, grabs Mikasa, brings him back into the Raven. Storm Spirit falling low, will be able to use himself up. No, BK. Pull up a Raven with the Thunder, stays alive, takes down Nono. Another kill for the Terrorbladers. VGR. They're sent packing for the time being. Cuckoo will come across, but F1. leaps away. VGR just unable to fight this Terrorblade at this stage of the game. And they could for any kind of big play here at the moment. They've got a swap, they've got an arrow. There's the swap. DDC's coming. The pass as well. They're trying to cause havoc. It's not going to work though. And DDC back on the kill. They've got the kill, but Sam grabbed the Aegis. VGR take down Roshan, but they still get the Aegis. Samé jumping forward, Mikasa. Got the Manico, still 1v1 off the Aegis. No Bloodstone Deny available, still on cooldown, and McCarthy's got to run, he got to hide, he can't do it. Cuckoo with the final laser to the face is VGR once again getting taken down big time.
It is looking real grim for VGR after that Roshan fight. That was, I feel, one of their last hurrahs. They wanted to try to time it so that there was not going to be a global, so they just immediately go as soon as everyone's alive again and hope for the best, but unfortunately their timing just wasn't quite good enough, and as soon as they get that last initiation onto the Storm Spirit, regardless of whether or not they get the kill, they force Mikasa out of the fight for an extended period of time, and that's a core just gone. He can't come back, he can't expend that much mana going in on the fight, and once again, Ravens just unbelievably farm.
Dire's bottom
Just
tower
buys a
has
full
fallen.
BKB, already has 1,600 gold in
Dire's
his
middle tower
inventory.
is under attack.
It is going to be a tall order for VGR to bring this one back.
It's been an absolutely solid performance from Raven, and the team has they've played around him perfectly up until this point. But we said at the start, you know, how are VGR going to respond to the fact that they're letting a Terrorblade free farm? This point, it
Dire's
seems that they
middle
themselves
tower is
don't know
under
the answer
attack.
to that question. They've just been unable to take him head on in these 5v5 fights.
VGR need to play the scrappy style. They can't just sit there and let Terrorblade auto-attack heroes, or they will lose the fight. That's the whole
Dire's
reason why
middle
they pick a
tower
carry
has
like
fallen.
Weaver, because Weaver doesn't really sit there and just trade right clicks. He's very mobile, goes around the fight, picks off the back line, and then continues to work on the carries when the supports are actually dead. But the problem is, he's never really getting those kills fast enough in the global plus taunt and the back right.
Oh, and Savage! He may have had a rocky start to this game, but his initiations have been absolutely perfect. And he is, you know, absolutely recovered for the fact that he gave away 3 very early kills.
I think a lot of those kills were better off being him than his mid player.
Dire's top
Because obviously it
barracks
puts
are under
Cuckoo in a really
attack.
good position to not have to worry about other heroes rotating on him later. Just in here for Mikasa.
VGR, and that's
Dire's
something to
top
slow
barracks
this down.
has fallen.
40 seconds still without end on the Weaver. Fortification
Dire's
comes out, but
structures are
TNC in this best of one, they can smell victory and moving forward.
Look at this illusion spread, Owen. This is disgusting.
This is Raven just ripping the base, the hopes and dreams of VGR to shreds. It is going to be a second set of wraps down. On the back though, VGR trying to fight with the global. Oh, Jimmy shuts VGR the hell up. And Raven moving in with the BKB, looking for the axe. Still, Cuckoo jumps in as well. The swamp with DDC will save the axe, but he'll pay with his life. Mikasa still playing around on the back lines with Sam H. He's going to have to kill himself. And Cuckoo, to get the kill, he'll deny himself. FY down again. 60 seconds on the sidelines from Murata. There's a buyback from Mikasa. TNC only losing one there. Mikasi's going to do a big play, but that's not the play. Sam H said yes, it's straight into my last son. 3 down on VGR. Only ended no left. And no, he's down. VGR lose
Dire's middle barracks
Jimmy
are
and the
under
boys
attack.
have done it. TNC move forward, taking out VGR in the first round of the lower bracket. Oh, they've got to feel so good about that, Andy. These best of ones are an absolute nightmare, but TNC have done it against all odds.
Big props to Jimmy there. I love the draft that game. I thought that the Silencer was a stroke of brilliance against the Storm, Spirit, the Weaver. It was just so hard for VGR to really find openings at a certain point. I mean, sure, they had a good start. They were killing the Bat Rider. It seemed like they were getting everything that they needed, but TNC eventually slowed the pace of the game. They realized, look, Raven's farming like a beast. As long as we can just hold this off, we can make a turnaround. And on the back of some very well executed